All right, welcome again to your favorite program on TV. This is CrossFire on channel 196 on Star Times. Good morning. My name is Obasanjo. I have Ishomaga Ine with me in the studio, and we'll be doing the show together as usual. Shama, morning.
Good morning, countrymen, and happy Independence Day celebrations. Welcome
All
to
right.
CrossFire.
I'm very sure we're still good to go to say happy independence, to Nigeria, and I believe very strongly that Nigerians are still in that celebration mood. And now, but some school of thoughts yesterday were saying that, there's nothing to celebrate in Nigeria. And so we have a lot of beautiful stories and some other stories that are not so beautiful like the others. And that is just to create a balance on the show. And so we definitely will be going through some trending stories, things that people have said about Nigeria at 55. And so it befits us as a nation to begin to look inward to know exactly what to do. So for our viewers today, we have a very important question for you, and we would like you to call in and be a part of the show by answering this simple question. What is the number one thing that you want Nigeria to do for you as a citizen? And what is the number one thing you intend to do in return for your country? So we want to receive your call, and we would like you to just tell us very, plainly, just let us know what first thing on your mind that you want Nigeria to do for you, and then what exactly is the first thing you would like to give back to your country. And that's how the show is going to start today. We'll go straight into a couple of stories that we have to share with you. And then when we come back from that, we definitely will be taking you through what we want to deal with today. We have a guest who will be joining us in the course of the program, and is on his way. Due to rain and traffic in Lagos, is not here yet, but we hope it will make it before the end of the show. Now, let's quickly say to you, on this note, that yesterday we had our Independence Special where we captured a couple of things that the president said in his inaugural, speech, because it's his first time of actually speaking, as a democratic elected president in Nigeria on an Independence Day. And so that speech, we'll be looking at one or two elements of that speech, and then we would like you to let us know exactly what you think about this speech. Yesterday, I stood on a particular position and I said that speech was extremely reactive. He did not address a couple of things that, as a Nigerian, I personally was expecting the president to address. But Ishoma differ a little bit, saying that fantastic speech, there was nothing wrong with it, everything was okay. And so likewise some other guests that we had in the studio yesterday. But before we go into...
I don't know if you're expecting Mr. President to come with paper and pen to say...
No, when we get there, Shoma. When we get there, Shoma, no. I don't want to engage you.
In the mode of celebration, what he needed to have done was to uplift the spirit of Nigerians, which really? He did, which he talked about. Number one thing, which most of our previous leaders have completely, they completely forgot, and that was the issue of unity as a people,
Ishoma,
as a nation.
Let's take our trending story. Like I told you, we're not starting the show on that.
The issues.
No, it doesn't matter. Really? You will yet speak about your opinion. It's too early to start picking up issues with you on the show. So let's talk about a few stories, okay. and then we go on from here. Now, Nigeria is not a failed state. That was a statement made by the TUC, that's a trade union, and the Nigeria Labour Congress. Now, the organized labor movement in the country say Nigeria is not a failed state, irrespective of the myriad of challenges. Now, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria and their counterpart, that's a Labour Congress, stated in a separate message to mark the country's 55th independence anniversary. Now, the TUC president, Boboy Kagama, said there is no problem which the nation presently faced after 55 years of independence that will not eventually be surmounted. So, meanwhile, on the other hand, Mr. Kagama identifies some of the challenges bedeviling the country as ethnicity, nepotism, unemployment, poverty, hunger, widespread corruption, non-ideology-based politics, insecurity, insurgency, and kidnapping. The NLC president, Mr. Ayuba Waba, also called on Nigerians to support, the president in delivering improved governance. Now, my take on this, Ishoma, is just that it is not enough for congresses like NLC, TUC, to come out, to begin to make statements that are good in spite and despite the struggle that they've been engaged in over the years. I don't have any problem if conclusively yesterday they came up to say, that NLC and TUC came up to say, fantastic, we're not in a failed state, there's nothing to worry about, we have myriad of problems and we'll overcome them, that all of this problem will be surmounted. Which I believe very strongly, that when a nation is evolving, all of these things are bound to be, part of a growing nation. Now, my concern is just that a few days after now, they will remember that the workers have not been paid. They will remember that there are no strong, policies that have been made so far due to the fact that they don't have ministers who are sitting in the helms of affairs of the nation. And then a lot of people are saying, don't forget that TUC came out when President Muhammadu Buhari said, talked about, the appointment of ministers, and it made it look like it trivialized that position. It made it look like, ministers are jokers, that eventually when we bring them on board, they're not coming to do anything. And this was this same set of people who made this, who fought to say that, no, that was a wrong statement, the president made and all of that. But they said Nigeria is not in a failed state, no problem. We will wait for NLC and TUC in a few weeks from now and let them come and eat up the polity again by saying workers should be paid, unemployment is bedeviling the nation, this is not this is not this. Because the statement yesterday was really very contrary. You said we're not in a failed state, but you listed a lot of problems that the country is going through. You talked about widespread corruption, non-ideology and ideology-based politics. You talked about insecurity, insurgency, kidnapping, a whole list, hunger, unemployment, nepotism. You said so many things, ethnicity, religious war, but yet we are not in a failed state. What makes a country be in a failed state?
I'm trying so hard to avoid the use of the word failed state. Okay. Because if you say Nigeria is a failed state, that means you'll be putting Nigeria at par with nations like Somalia and the rest of them and other, ravished African nations. So that's the reason why I would say since Nigeria is way better than those nations, I won't want to use the word failed state. Nigeria isn't a failed state. The fact that things are not happening as it should be or as we desire, especially understanding where we're coming from, it's probably one of the issues which we fail to get right as a people. And like you said earlier during your opening speech, these are some of the problems emerging nations, emerging economies, like Nigeria, they face while trying to develop and all of that. So, well, thank God we have a new sheriff in town who has, made commitments, and so far his body language and efforts are all drawing to the fact that he is going to change all of that. So far, insurgency, Nigeria is winning the war against insurgency. Security-wise, we believe there's more that this government can do as regards security, which goes wider than insurgency in the northern part of the country, the southern part of the country, kidnapping and the rest of that. Also, can I take a swipe at NLC and TUC?
Why not? Just go on.
Okay, since I have your permission to do that. Now, a lot of Nigerians, particularly the workforce of the workforce in Nigeria, they've expected more from TUC and the NLC, which they have failed in their capacity to represent the bulk of the Nigerian populace. And they actually can come out to say that Nigeria is in a failed state. Probably they have contributed
that is also not in a failed state.
Well, probably they have contributed also to the reason why some of these issues which they listed out, probably they've contributed to why Nigeria is in the state which we are, because even if the executive arm of government were not upstanding in their own duties, they have everything. They have everything it takes to stand up for Nigerians, the bulk of the people, to draw the attention of these people. Come on, let's look at other nations. Okay. So many nations, these unions are probably at the life nerve of those societies because they control the people. They control the populace. So when something is not working right, they rally the people around and they hold government accountable and they get results. Okay. So if Nigeria is in whatever level it is, it's because they have failed to play their part.
All right. Anyway, let's see. Let's just wait and see what Nigerians are going to, say about that story. Now, our former president Olusegun Obasanjo says the country is not doing badly as it celebrates, its 55 years of nationhood on Thursday. Now, that That was yesterday. The former president who spoke with journalists, at his hilltop, presidential residence in Abeokuta, Ogun State, noted that even developed nations of the world have had their own time of challenges. Now, he said Nigeria is also taking steps gradually to overcome its challenges. Mr. Obasanjo said the leaders and the led need to ensure that certain cardinal features of national life and values are not eroded. And now he said Nigeria has the potential to become a great nation, stressed that what needs to be done to realize this would require all hands to be on deck. The reason why we're telling the people who are watching us at home to call us today and let us know what exactly do you want the nation to do for you. As an individual, I think this nation, Nigeria, has particularly not affected my life positively. I've spent well over 4 decades here, and I have lived here. And I have had opportunity to travel outside the confines, of this country. And I see how things work outside the country. Mm-hmm. As far as I'm concerned, if I look at it really very well from every element of our society, I think Nigeria is done badly. And I can explain it. I mean, this is a personal experience. I'm not following the thoughts and observations or ideas of other people, but I'm looking at it from the context of who I went to a public primary school. I went to a public secondary school. I mean, and it has taken someone, who has gone through that experience. I cannot recommendedly or wholeheartedly send my children to a public school anymore. The education system in Nigeria is far eroded. There is no quality, it's just quantity. We have the schools there. We don't have even the qualified teachers to teach them. How many Nigerians today can afford or can take the risk of sending their children, except you are poor and needy? You don't have the money. Virtually all of us are sending our children to private schools today, and that is because we know that we cannot just afford to send them to the public schools, especially the government-owned schools. They are just white elephants. Children go there and they come back home with nothing on their heads. Schooling and educating people has become something you need to pay very dearly for. And let's talk about education. I have been living in particular areas in Lagos State specifically, and I can tell you very wholeheartedly how many of the infrastructures and facilities that I've had to pay for to provide for myself. Electricity, up till recent times before we had an improvement, it's not that it's excellent, but it's improving. Now, if the body language of the president is what has been bringing a couple of sanity to some sectors of the Nigerian economy, then we need the president to do more. We want, is either one, increase the body language, or two, stop giving us opportunity to translate your body language into words. Speak to us. And that was why yesterday I would have expected...
I like that point.
Exactly. I would have expected the president to come out really very strong and address a couple of economic issues yesterday. I still said to myself that those statements that he made yesterday were extremely reactive. And I will give you instance of some of those things that the president said yesterday. I mean, I picked up 10 elements of the president's speech, and I'm going to quickly make that available into the public domain. These are personal, don't get me wrong. Like I said, these are personal opinion. And I'm entitled to it as a Nigerian.
Sure.
Number one on the list of what he said yesterday that I said was reactive is, I bear no ill will against anyone on past events. Nobody should fear anything from me. We are not after anyone. People should only fear the consequences of their action. We know that the anti-graft war is ongoing. We know that a lot of people thought that it probably is addressing a particular set of people. That is to say that we are saying it is political and it is addressing, it is centered around a couple of people, especially the opposition party. Now, he said another thing. He said, every new government inherits problems. Ours was no different, but what Nigeria wants are solutions, quick solutions, not a recitation of problems inherited. Yeah, if you know this is true, why did you now make reference to a late submission of the handover document from the past government?
I'm going to respond to everything.
Exactly. I looked at this, his statement in his elements, and sincerely, I am not just happy. Let's take this call from Ife, calling from Port Harcourt. Good morning and happy independence.
Good morning, Dr. Anishama.
Good morning.
Happy independence.
Good morning.
Nigeria, for me, I will beg our government to restructure Nigeria.
Okay.
I believe that the way Nigeria is structured today is what fuels corruption. All of us believe there is free money and hard work is lost. Our children go to school to copy, our politicians steal money. So the whole country is upside down. So if we can restructure Nigeria and every part of Nigeria becomes productive, corruption will die. But as long as our president wants to become the minister for petroleum and forget that 2.8 billion disappeared and we are yet to know where it went to, God save Nigeria. Then
so
for me as a
do for Nigeria?
From what I'm doing something already.
Okay.
In my neighborhood, I'm trying to put 20 children in school.
Wow.
Yesterday I met with their parents and I weep. When we calculated the money for a Kwashoko private school, we have to pay 300,000 naira. And I told them, look, I don't have that money. If I'm to pay 300,000 this term, next term the proprietor told me I should pay 200. Then third time I'll pay another 200. That is 500,000. I don't have that money.
Yearly.
So I told them, well, what we'll do now is to get a lesson teacher, buy Queen Premier, put the children to school. They'll be coming to my house to school. So I have a quasi school. But apart from that, now I go to schools because I believe that until our children have proper moral values, they are lost. But it's unfortunate, just like you said, some of our teachers are not educated. I mean, it's true they've gone to school. When the children come for GC and all those exams, they will help them to copy.
They'll help them to write the exams.
The country, I mean, I don't understand. When I visit some schools, I weep. The children just stroll into school. So God will help us. We are doing something already, and we pray that our country does something for us.
Fantastic.
Restructure the country. Let every part of our country, just like it was before we had the Malaysians came here to take our palm produce. Restructure Nigeria. God bless you.
God bless you too. And thank you so much for your beautiful activities.
And God bless our great country, Nigeria. I mean,
can I respond to you?
No, but let me give you a few more. Now, let's take Kazim's call. Kazim, good morning. Hello, Kazim.
Hi, good morning. Can you speak up, please?
Kazim? I think Kazim is a shy caller. Let's move on. Now, let me give you more. Now, he said something. He said there has been a lot of anxiety and impatience over the apparent delay in announcement of ministers. He said there is no cause to be anxious. Our government set out to do things methodically and properly. It is really very interesting to know how long Nigerians have been looking forward to a list of ministers. But let's take Kazim's call. Kazim, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Dabo.
Oh, fantastic. Good to have you back.
Good morning, Shema.
How is Kano doing today?
Happy
Independence to you.
Happy Independence to you guys.
Great. Let's take your contribution.
My contribution is about the president's speech.
About?
The president's speech.
All right. Please go ahead.
Anyway, I'm just young guy. I will not be listening much of the speech.
Can you please speak up so we can hear you properly?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
Yes, about the speech. Although I'm a young age, I have not witnessed a lot of the past presidential speech.
Yeah.
But I was managed to hear the first speech of the General President, that is President Buhari. Anyway, that's good. To me, the end of the speech, it's what takes me home, it's what carries my mind. It's not the beginning.
Okay.
Saying that the statement that he made at the end of his speech, that's the most interesting part of the speech for me. Okay. But what I want for Nigeria to do for me is, for the Nigerian to do for me,
yes,
it to think.
No, you have to say that again, Kazim. The line seems to be breaking off.
Hello?
Yeah, speak up, please.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. What do you want Nigeria to do for you?
Well, what I want Nigeria to do for me is, because the leaders are above 55 years of age, they benefit the dividend of good leadership, good prospects, transparency, accountability, and good government.
All right.
Most of those leaders that are witnesses today, they are more than 55 years of age. They enjoy a free scholarship, free medical services, free delivery of packages, good education, good system of government, enjoy every aspect as in terms of good government. But why, at this time of age, that they already benefit from the good government that we are suffering.
Okay, now what do you want to do for Nigeria?
I'm doing it right away.
Okay.
For the past 4 years, I'm a graduate without a job. Okay. I'm going by the nearby neighborhood school. I'm voluntary on doing teaching students without it. Nobody paying me.
Wow.
That's what I'm doing for my country. For now, I have a record of almost like 10 to 20 medical doctors that have been going through my educational resources. I'm doing good for the country. All I want is the country to do good for.
All right.
Please continue your good work.
Great to have you on the show. Hard work pays. It's just a matter of time. And believe you me, it's yet in a little while. Your good work will be seen and it will be duly compensated for. Anyway, Nigeria is a very big country, and I believe that every contribution that you make today will eventually translate into something positive tomorrow. Let's go on a short break now, and we will wait for more callers to make their contribution on the show. Let's go now. We'll be right back.
So, did you like what you just saw? I know you did. It's very simple. If you want to see more, just subscribe to our channel right now.